All right, friends, as we walk down to that next tree, I threw the rope in. I was gonna come straight up to the truck, but then I looked up and it is actually going the obvious opposite way of the hole. So Larry in his infinite wisdom said, "Buckin," and he said it very gingerly and humbly, not to crush my plan. He said, "Do you think it would be better?" I says, "You know what, Larry? Yes, it would be. And let's do it." So I rerouted. If I had a stayed straight off the, so it's a tagline, friends. Essentially, I have a tagline on this tree. But if your tagline is out of, is out of whack, and you'll see what I mean here right now, the building is there. And look at the lean of the tree, friends. It's actually going that way and down on the freaking building.
But I know there's cutters out there, and I asked you yesterday, would you like to see some GoPro footage of me talking about taking the hat off, showing the undercuts, explaining why I do certain things, and you all said, yes, do it. So I'm gonna do it, and here we go. And friends, if you're a cutter, the last thing I am is a guy to come on and tell you that this is how it's done. This is why you should do it this way. I just do what I do. We're all from a different zone. We've all cut different woods. We all have been taught different. We've all learned different things. And certain things have helped us and other things have not. So we keep doing them or not doing them. But I'm telling you, if you're into cutting trees, you've got to have your own experience. You can't just listen to some guy on the internet flapping telling you that this is how it's done, because there's many ways to do different things. But it is about a hinge, the capacity of a hinge. It's fiber. It's nothing but fiber. How can I stress this fiber to its max? Right? So let's have some fun. This is GoPro footage, up close, tight on the stump. Enjoy, friends. I love that you're here.
So I need it to go in the hole. So we rerouted our tagline to over here. It's just the same as rigging in a tree. Your rigging point, your wood goes to your rigging point. So I'm still going to utilize the lean, and this tagline is going to work as just a pendulum, and it's going to swing this tree over. Friends, it is leaning hard, like very hard. Are you guys on? Yeah, you are. Okay, this little 562 is awesome saw for this job. See this thing? Watch. I want it there.
I was gonna do some voiceovers, friends, but I'll pick and choose my places. Just keep an eye on what I'm doing. I talk to the camera here too, so I'll kind of let that flow.
Look at this thing. It's completely rotten. Wow. Okay, I want to show you something. Look at this thing, friends. Look at this. It's not going to hold on. Look at it. So there's no sense. You know it's leaving. There's no sense in cutting anymore. Honestly, friends. Just, the tag is, it's actually leaving. I can see it. Actually, there it goes. There she goes. Did that ever swing high, eh? That was glorious. So it left the stump, Larry, and actually jumped up. That was beautiful. But no wood here. It's all spalted and rotten. So friends, if it had gone the other way, and I was surprised. Now here's another way to do it. You open your undercup underneath the weight more and get it going more that way. But I didn't want that. I knew we could get it. It was facing that way, but actually look where it ended up. That undercut was going down there. It ended up over there because of our pendulum, right? I'll pop the line off, Larry. I'll need some slack now.
Friends, do you understand what I'm talking about, gut shot? A guy asked me the other day, and I'm going to answer the question right now in this video. He asked me why the gut, why punch it in the guts instead of just taking more backwood. Well, think about that for a minute. Think about it. Friends, taking low wood, compressed wood, stresses high wood out. Are you feeling me? So there's this thought process, oh, I'll go take all my low wood and that'll help me swing it up the hill. Well, sometimes. But if you cut all your low wood off, that tree is gonna drop and stress the high wood out, and she'll break erroneous. We turned that high wood, like I talked about yesterday, into compressed wood yesterday with the truck, pulling it back. So we actually changed the dynamics of the hinge wood, of the tree, the plates in the tree. So friends, this is me. I got to get a rope in this tree, and I won't get it with these limbs in my face. I got to cut these two limbs off on the side here, and it'll help a little bit with weight, but not much. But I've got to get them out of the way. And again, this long bar on a light saw, I knew I would be doing some of this today. I don't cut that right at the limb, at the trunk, because I might need it, right? See, and pull myself up or do whatever. I'm always thinking before I cut anything. Do I need this? Will I need it? Could I stand on it? Because we don't need, people think you got to get way up in the tree with your ropes. You don't, friends. You don't, especially if you got power, like a 4x4 pickup with nostalgia from the 70s. Anyway, let's go.
All right, we're getting nasty now.
So friends, you saw Larry there with the camera. You've seen this tree go over. You have. You've seen it on yesterday's video, I believe. But not on the stump, and this is what I asked if you folks want to see this. So we get into depth here, and I talk about all the aspects that's going on here on the stump. So friends, plain and simple, if it breaks off, it smashes the building down there. That's it, plain and simple. That's why the tagline. But if you think that you could pull that tree straight to the left, you would fail, and it would smash the building. It won't do it. You've got to change the dynamics of the tension wood, which is up high. Tension is high, low wood is compressed.
I'm shooting from right there. I'm under the lay, so this weight will get going.
friends, I didn't have to go as deep, but the reason I went deep here is because I want some folding action happening, and I've also got a rope in it with a lot of tension on it. So between the top plate and that rope is the reason why this tree's not going to leave, right? I talk about that here now, but I failed to mention the rope is helping as well.
Now the reason that tree's not leaving anywhere is because there's a plate of wood on the back going all the way up. But yet I've crept around the bottom side so it will cave.
Friends, this undercut does not have to be this deep. You don't have to. You can leave more of a top plate. It's depending on your preload, what you've got back. We're being assisted by that rope big time.
See that? The bottom wood's not going to help me. Don't cut all your bottom wood.
Oh, was that a thing of beauty?
You see it leave and then grab that?
Yeah, that was perfect.
So
Look at that, right on the high side of that stump.
I wanted it on the high side of the stump, and the only way I would get it there would be if that rope tension that we had on that tag line, Larry, remember that angle we talked about? If it was too sharp, it would have fell away.
Yeah, exactly.
This worked out.
Tension on it.
That's right.
Yeah.
So that extra squeak there
Yeah,
was,
that's what did it.
it was handy. There's our stump. It's a deep undercut. And here's the thing, friends. I want you to understand something. I don't do this all the time. I don't play Mr. This is why this and that. Well, sometimes I do, but I don't want to come across like that. But I'm going to tell you something. There's no pull here. This wasn't working that hard, Larry. This hinge wood was not working that hard.
Yeah.
If it was working hard, it would be out here and pulled and ripped and torn.
Yeah, right.
This thing came over gloriously. This tells a story right here in the middle. It tells you that all the hinge wood was working equally because we yarded that back up and turned this into semi-compressed wood instead of tension blow-up wood.
Yeah, exactly.
Does that make sense, friends? Do you guys get what I'm saying? It's all about turning your compressed wood or your tension wood into compressed wood or somewhere in the middle. Friends, I gotta be honest. I don't want to toot my own horn, but Larry, can you focus in on that stump over there?
So friends, you saw this yesterday, but the discussion was I almost fell this tree. The day has gone like perfect, and I was learning the wood by this time. Sap, I'm talking about how it's acting on the stump, and I was gonna cut this tree right down with no rope, but look at the building. And this is all gnarly, and I thought to myself, nope. You saw this yesterday, but I still want to talk about it.
Hey?
You have enough rope?
Yeah. Yeah, we'll put a rope in it. This little rope, Larry, has done so much over the years. It owes me nothing. Literally just do a series of wraps, like pull tension, and don't worry about getting it tight. Literally just go like this, Larry. 8 or 10 wraps. Just do a quick little, right? So, put the tension on her. And if you're comfortable with that. If not, I can come up and tie the bow line. So I just built this axe last night. It's actually a beautiful Tasmanian pattern axe with glorious weight distribution right out in the 1 inch area, right out there. You guys know the deal, right? Right here. She likes to hang. I like my wood splitters to be kind of in here within 1 or 2 inches of weight distribution right there. Depends on your palm swell too. You got a bit extra weight out there, but this is a 4.5 pound. This is what the Aussies used to chop trees down with. These. The Canadians and the Aussies have quite a connection. I feel connected to the Australian people. I don't know why. I always have, and I think it's got something to do with how the world went, history, and the Commonwealth and the wood choppers. You know, all the choppers and that. But this is it's a sharp axe, friends, you see? But it does, you'll be surprised at this thing when I show you this. I don't use a chopping block, friends, very often, but if I do, I kind of use a shorter one, which I don't have here right now, because I wasn't planning on using one. But if I use one, I just stand up one of my rounds here, and that's it. But I rarely use one. This is an amazing little axe, but if you don't know how to split wood, you'll probably break it. And I don't mean no disrespect there to anyone, but axemanship seems to be a thing of the past now. Nobody uses thin handles anymore. Well, I shouldn't say nobody, because some do. And proper grinds. It's all mauls and wood splitters now. You see on YouTube. You don't see any like actual axemanship. You see guys splitting wood. You see, I'm teaching Luke, and he's teaching his brother or son and brother, and his brother, not his son. But you know, before these old axemen, before they're gone, we got to get their tricks, friends. We do. We got to get their tricks and the reasons behind things. You know, with all due respect, there's a lot of guys that are swinging axes on the internet, but I mean, gosh, what, you know, I don't know. Maybe I'm just being old school and old crusty guy, maybe. See that right there? For that instance, this reason, right? There was a reason for that. So there's a reason for every move. Big honeybees lately. Oh my goodness, the sun, friends, is amazing. Listen, I've said this a few times at the end of my videos or during my videos. Thanks for being here and thanks for watching, actually. Subscribe, hit the like, all the things that YouTubers are supposed to say to you. And as they start a YouTube channel, they get told,
do this, do that, do all those things. I did it in the beginning, I tried, and then I just kind of I stopped asking people to subscribe and click the like button like freaking years ago, because I have faith in the human being, that we're smart enough to know if we're inspired enough and moved enough by something. I don't want mercy clicks. I want people, if they've been moved enough by something I've done or said or shown, for them to go, how can I, yeah, I like that, click. I want you to be inspired, is what I want. So here's the deal. Do you know what inspires me? Going down to a coffee shop and asking an old man sitting there alone by himself in the coffee shop. He just lost his wife and he's thinking about his life that's going by. And someone walks up to him like me and says, hey, do you mind if I sit down? Is anybody sitting here? And start talking to him about his life and what he used for axes, and did he have a wood stove, and what was his deal? What did he do for a living? Talk to these old people, friends. This is how we learn. Friends, axemanship it's still there, but most of the people who have axemanship are not on the internet. There's some that are, but I know guys that they could care if anybody knows who they are, and they're incredible with the axe. So axemanship is a huge genre. There's chopping, there's splitting, there's everything. There's bushcraft, there's, it's a big door to open and go into. But I urge you to go talk to the old people. And I'm not talking me in my 50s. I just turned 56 and I've been on an axe for 50 years. But I'm talking the guys that are 80 and 90 and the fellas that didn't have a log splitter, didn't have, how did they process their firewood? What were the tools they used to split the very wood that you're surrounded in your neighborhood? Go talk to the old guys, friends. Seriously, if you're a young guy, go talk to them old guys and ask them what they did. Ask them how they did it. Here's two things that happen. You make that old man's day or old woman's day. You make their day because you were interested in with them at the end of their life now. They're looking back on the end of their life and they're going, and some young buck comes up to them and says, hey, do you mind if I sit down? Friends, let's reach out to one another. Let's love one another a little more now going forward. Let's do it. Work hard, be honest, and be kind to one another. And get out there and freaking happen to life. It's such a beautiful place and opportunity and gift. Remember that. Thanks for watching.